She didn't cry when she said it. That was the part that unsettled me most. We were standing in the narrow hallway of her apartment, coats still on, winter air clinging to us. She held the doorframe with one hand, steady, composed, like she'd rehearsed the sentence 100 times before letting it leave her mouth. "We're having a baby," she said. Then, after a breath that barely moved her chest, "Will you take responsibility?" The word responsibility landed between us like something solid, heavy, unavoidable. I opened my mouth, closed it, then tried again. My mind raced through weeks, months, missed calls, short replies, things I'd told myself meant nothing. I hadn't expected this. Or maybe I had, and I just refused to listen to the quiet voice that warned me. I swallowed. "I need to be honest with you." Her eyes never left mine. "I know." "I have a new girlfriend," I said. "I didn't plan it, it just happened." For the first time, her composure cracked. Not into tears, into something sharper. A flicker of disbelief, then understanding, then something like resignation. "Of course you do," she said softly. "That doesn't mean I'm walking away," I rushed to add. "You're already standing halfway out the door," she interrupted, calm again, which somehow hurt more. "I asked about responsibility, not romance." I nodded slowly. She was right. I'd made it about my feelings because that was easier than facing the consequences of my actions. "I won't disappear," I said. "I promise that. Whatever you need for the baby, financially, legally, I'll do it." She studied my face, searching for something. "And emotionally," she asked, "what does responsibility look like there?" I didn't answer right away, because I didn't know, because the truth was complicated. "I can't pretend to be something I'm not," I finally said. "I won't lie to you, or to her, or to the child." She nodded again slowly. "That's at least honest." Silence filled the hallway. Somewhere outside, a car passed, tires hissing on wet pavement. Life continuing, indifferent to the moment that had just split both of ours in two. "I didn't tell you to trap you," she said quietly. "I told you because you deserve to know, and because the baby deserves better than secrets." "I agree," I said, "completely." She stepped back, opening the door wider. "Then go," she said. "Think, figure out who you're going to be." I hesitated. "Are you okay?" She gave a small, tired smile. "I will be. I don't need you to save me. I just need you not to vanish." "I won't," I repeated. This time I meant it with everything I had. When I left, the cold air hit me hard. I walked for a long time instead of driving, letting the reality settle in. Somewhere along the way, my phone buzzed, a message from my girlfriend asking how my night was going. I stared at the screen, then typed back slowly, "We need to talk. It's important." Responsibility, I realized, wasn't about choosing the option that hurt least in the moment. It was about choosing the path that caused the least harm over time, even if it meant difficult conversations, fractured expectations, and learning to live with consequences instead of running from them. I didn't know how it would all turn out. But for the first time, I understood that growing up isn't marked by what you want. It's marked by what you're willing to face. I didn't sleep that night. I lay on my back staring at the ceiling, replaying her voice, the steadiness she'd held onto like a lifeline. "I don't need you to save me. I just need you not to vanish." The words wouldn't let me rest. The next morning, I met my girlfriend for coffee. I didn't ease into it. I didn't soften the truth. "There's something you need to know," I said, before she even sat down. She listened without interrupting as I explained. About the pregnancy, about the timing, about my promise not to disappear. When I finished, she wrapped her hands around her cup, eyes lowered. "Thank you for telling me," she said quietly. "Not everyone would." "I didn't want secrets," I replied. "I won't build anything on them." She nodded. "What does this mean for us?" I thought about that hallway, about responsibility as more than a word. "It means I'll be present in that child's life," I said. It means honesty. It means there will be boundaries and complications. She looked up then. And do you want to be here with me? Yes, I said, if you can accept the whole truth. She took a long breath. I can accept a lot, she said, but I need clarity, not promises you can't keep. Then let's be clear, I said. I won't pretend. I won't triangulate. I'll show up where I'm supposed to, and I'll tell you where I'm going. She considered me for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, she said. We'll take it one step at a time. That afternoon, I went back to the apartment. I didn't bring speeches. I brought a notebook with questions, doctors, timelines, support. She raised an eyebrow when she saw it. You came prepared, she said. I came committed, I replied. We sat at the kitchen table. Practical things first. Appointments, finances, what she wanted and didn't want from me. She was clear. She didn't ask for romance. She asked for reliability. I don't need a savior, she said. I need consistency. You'll have it, I said. Weeks passed. The shock softened into routine. I drove her to appointments, sat quietly when that was what she wanted, spoke up when she asked for help. I learned the difference between being involved and being intrusive. My girlfriend and I set our own rules, check-ins, transparency, room for feelings without ultimatums. Some days were easy. Some were not, but no one was pretending. One evening, after an appointment, she and I stood outside the clinic. The sky was pale, almost gentle. You know, she said, resting a hand on her coat, I was afraid you'd make this about choosing sides. I'm choosing responsibility, I said, every day. She nodded. That's all I ever asked. Later that night, I sat alone and thought about how life rarely arrives in clean lines. How maturity isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about what you build after them. I didn't know what the future would look like. I knew it would be complex. I knew it would require patience. But I also knew this: showing up isn't a single decision. It's a habit. And I was finally learning how to keep it. Months passed, marked not by big moments but by small, steady ones. Calendar reminders, grocery lists taped to the fridge, the quiet ritual of texting, "Did you eat?" and actually meaning it. I learned the sound of the baby's heartbeat before I learned what kind of father I might be. It was strange how something so small could rearrange everything inside you without asking permission. She changed too, not dramatically, not in the ways movies show. She grew more focused, more protective of her time and energy. Some days she was light, joking about names or cravings. Other days she was distant, tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. I learned not to take either personally. One evening, after a long appointment, she looked at me across the car and said, "You don't have to stay for dinner." "I know," I replied. "I want to." She nodded, accepting that without comment. That was progress. At home, my girlfriend and I navigated our own learning curve. There were nights she asked questions I didn't have perfect answers for. There were moments of jealousy she didn't hide, and moments of reassurance I didn't rush. We learned that honesty didn't mean constant explanation. It meant consistency. One night she said, "I'm not competing with a child." "I would never let that happen," I replied. She met my eyes. "I know, I just needed to say it out loud." As the due date approached, tension returned, not between us but inside me. The weight of it all pressed heavier. Responsibility stopped being a concept and became a countdown. The call came early one morning. "It's time," she said, her voice calm but tight. I was there before she finished the sentence. The hours blurred together, waiting rooms, clipped voices, the quiet urgency of people who knew exactly what they were doing. When the nurse finally placed that tiny, wrinkled life into my arms, something in me broke open and rearranged itself. She watched me from the bed, exhausted but alert. "You look terrified," she said softly. "I am," I admitted, "and grateful." She smiled faintly. "Good, that means you're paying attention." Later, when things were quiet and the room was dim, she said, I never expected this to be easy. I just hoped it wouldn't be lonely. It won't be, I said, not if I have anything to say about it. She nodded, closing her eyes. That's enough. In the weeks that followed, life became louder and smaller at the same time. Sleepless nights, first smiles that might have been gas, the steady learning of how to be present without overstepping. One evening, as I was about to leave, she stopped me at the door. "You know," she said, "you didn't choose the simple path." "I know." "You chose the honest one," she added. "That matters." I walked out into the night, tired in a way that felt earned. I didn't know what the future held, how love would evolve, how relationships would bend, how mistakes would echo. But I knew this. Responsibility wasn't a sentence handed down in a hallway. It was something you practiced quietly every day. And for the first time, I wasn't running from it.